The president of Emirates Airline says his airline has been through worse than the current Iran crisis. Sir Tim Clark and I discussed the conflict at the Kappa Airline Leaders Summit in Berlin. Sir Tim believes Emirates will recover quickly once everything settles down. In fact, he says perhaps no other airline is quite as good as handling disruption.
Well, look, the people who are familiar with this part of the world, I think a lot of passengers are, and I think most of the world is aware of what goes on in the Middle East, particularly in the UAE and Dubai in particular. This trauma, which by the way is still ongoing, there is not a clear resolution at the moment, but there is a history of our ability to restore operations fairly rapidly, and we've honed our skills probably more than any other airline in the world now, because we've been subjected to all sorts of things over the last 20 or 30 years, whether it be the first Gulf War in 1990, the second in 2003, various disruptors in the global economy, you name it, we know that. And as a result of that, we are fairly adept now getting the fleet flying again.
As you look forward now, the issue is fuel. The issue is, I mean, IEA says that Europe's got 6 weeks left, maybe about 5 weeks since they gave that warning of aviation fuel left. How worried are you will run out of fuel?
Frankly, we're not that concerned. We have adequate supplies over here. Obviously, we produce and refine our own Jet A1. We know with the effect of the closure of the Strait that 40%, well, actually 40% of European Jet A1 is imported, but only 50% of that, say 20 percentage points, comes through the Strait. So I think this is more a question of, in the long term, if this continues, there could be an issue, more about the price of the interplane price of fuel, and that will then militate against possible demand growth in the future. We'll see. What we have found is that whenever we've been through these traumas before, the strength of demand is so strong. The yields that we're currently getting are still about 30–40%, would you believe, because we've got a class mix issue, lower than they were this time last year. We know that the demand will take price increases, surprisingly. Others in other segments, particularly in the budget carrier area, are more price sensitive, and they're probably getting a little bit concerned about what it may do if the fuel goes to $140 or something like that.
Now, we've all seen the various videos, we've all seen the various influencer stuff, but this idea that both visiting the place and flying over the hub is safe, has the perception of that taken a knock? If it has, what's it going to take to convince people that Dubai is what it was?
You know, Richard, again, I go back to what I said in the early days. We've had a lot of issues in this part of the world over the last 40 years. I've mentioned a few of them, but certainly not all. After each of these events, the draw of Dubai, which is now, and the UAE, has produced an economic operating model which is the envy of the planet. Frankly, I say that not because I live here, I'm part of it, because if you look around and see what these people have done, the power of this is not half an inch deep. It really is very strong. And I believe that once this is over, it will not take much. Certainly won't take much for Emirates to get back into the saddle. It certainly won't take much for us to project the brand quality and the strength of that brand, which is basically a good one, that Dubai is a great place for business, for hospitality, etc. And they're dealing with this in a manner which is very upbeat. So there is a great belief that Dubai will continue to excel, and the UAE come to that the aviation entities, and don't forget we have Fly Dubai as well, which is a very big player in this part of the world, will go back to their normal and expand as we have always.
Final thoughts, Tim. Emirates, this is I've known you a long time. Emirates was extremely fortunate that you are still at the helm in such a crisis. being a yes, you've got a great team. I can hear all of that. But at the end of the day, your vast experience of the industry crises and solid direction is to the airline's advantage. You must see that.
Look, of course I do. In times like this, you need leadership. You've got to, we've got 100,000 employees in the group, and the leaders have got to be seen to making the right decisions, being there for the staff, and not showing any signs of concern. Frankly, I've been through worse than this. I'm absolutely determined to make sure that we get through this, and that we're, after 41 years of building this airline, that we're not going to allow it to falter or slow down.
And that certainly can be taken to the bank, I guess. Sir Tim Clark talking to me.